right, everybody, let's kick off the second half of our meeting with the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Who is our timer tonight? Sean? Cool. I would like to introduce... Wait, where's your name? Danny G. Our main speaker.
Yeah, Danny! Daniel Garcia!
Hi, my name is Daniel Garcia, and I am an alcoholic.
Daniel!
Hi, guys. My sobriety date is June 25th of last year, and my sponsor's name is Brian Vartan, and my home group is 52 in the Big Blue up in Palos Verdes, and I'm blessed to have a few guys that call me sponsor, and those guys are saving my life. And the reason that I share those things and the reason that they are important to me is because my sponsor told me that if I have these things, that I have a better chance of making it to bed sober tonight. I'm wearing a suit tonight, obviously, right? Not because I'm like a successful businessman. I'm wearing a suit because my sponsor told me that it's tradition, that in Alcoholics Anonymous, that when we get asked to speak at a meeting, that we wear a suit out of tradition for Alcoholics Anonymous, and so that's that, right? I'm truly honored to be asked to speak here tonight. I went through Fred Brown and Alcoholics Anonymous. They saved my life, and I want to thank Miss Roxy and the rest of the staff for everything that y'all have done. I want to welcome newcomers. Newcomers, I know how you feel. I know what you're feeling. I've been there. I've sat in those seats, and I want to welcome you and invite you to a new way of life if you're willing to do the work, right? Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Let's see. Is that it? That's good. Yeah, I think that's enough, right? That's great. Let's see. I grew up out here in the Harbor area. I'm a local. Both of my parents are immigrants. I actually grew up like right around the corner, and I have one full sister, and I have like 3 half brothers. And as far as I can remember, my parents were already divorced. And when I was growing up, I was like loved. I was like the baby for like a while, and so I got kind of like babied in the house. I had everything that I wanted. I had the cool toys. I had the cool clothes. I didn't really get beat, and I live with mom and my sister. And I think like the worst part of like being like a youngster was like seeing my sister get beat. She got beat, right? And me being younger than her and like wanting to do something about it but not being able to, I kind of carried this like thing of like being a coward and like not being able to protect my sister, and I kind of carried that kind of stuff with me most of my life. Let's see. In school, I got picked on for a while until I learned how to fight, and I got chased home and stuff like that, and I got called things like the N-word. I got called things like derogatory statements for Hispanics and stuff like that, and I kind of grew up with this kind of image of like I always like wished I was white, and so I had this kind of like identity crisis where I didn't really fit in with anybody, but I wanted to, right? And I would do just about whatever it took to like fit in, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like Mexican enough to like hang out with the cholos. I wasn't black enough to hang out with the Crips. I wasn't white enough to hang out with the surfers and stuff like that. And so I was just kind of like, and I had this like curly hair, right, that I hated, right? And it's actually like Roxy's, right? And everybody was like, "Oh, your hair's so beautiful. Your hair's so beautiful." I was like, "I hate it." Anyway, yeah. So that was me, you know what I'm saying? And I remember just not fitting in anywhere, but just really wanting to, you know. I played sports, man, and I remember I remember like throwing tantrums when I was young, like 6 and 7, and like screaming at the top of my lungs, like, I want to kill myself. Like I remember that really vividly, you know, and like just being a baby. And like, where does that come from? I don't know where that comes from. This is just my experience, right? Started messing with girls like at 13 years old. Some really effed up stuff happened to me when I was a youngster. I was molested, and I carried that too with me, and that really effed with my identity also, right? What does this mean about me, right? And I carried that stuff, and I was never going to tell anybody that kind of stuff, right? Because then what are you going to think about me, right? And of course, I already hate what I think about me, So I sought like adrenaline and stuff. I sought adrenaline growing up. I remember like anything that I could get into. Like I remember like jumping off of roofs, not like trying to kill myself, just like being like a little rascal, like jumping off of roofs, like riding my bike hardcore into trees and stuff like that, like playing football, right? And I just remember like seeking adrenaline. And then when I was like 12, me and another relative of mine, my dad had already gone to sleep, and he and we got into his liquor cabinet, and man, I remember I got a bottle of a Presidente and Coke, right? And I mixed it just like I saw my dad mix it, right? Big old tumbler, bunch of ice, boom, right? And I remember I took those first couple of pulls, and it was like this. Hell yeah. Like that, right? I ended up getting like alcohol poisoning that night. I remember like my dad like dragging me out of like the living room, and I was like throw up all over me, and he's like, don't tell your mom, you're gonna stay a couple more nights, don't tell your mom what happened and stuff. And I remember like I remember also really clearly like walking to the park by myself, right? I'm still nauseous from what had just happened, right? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I need to do that again, bro. I need to do that again, right? Whatever that was, you know. Thus started like my alcoholism, right? All I knew was that when I drank, I felt better. I felt better, man. I felt complete. I felt heard, seen. I didn't really care what y'all thought about me, and I also believed the lie that I told myself about myself, right? There's a part in the Big Book. I'm going to talk a lot about the Big Book and the 12 and 12 because it's the version of Alcoholics Anonymous that I've been taught by my sponsor, okay? So just kind of bear with me and stuff. And also, y'all don't want to hear the stuff that I make up about AA because it's all crap anyway, right? There's a part in the Big Book that says, no words can tell of the loneliness and despair I found in that bitter morass of self-pity. Quicksand stretched all around me. I had met my match and I had been overwhelmed. Alcohol had become my master. And I had never really read words like that before or heard English kind of like that, you know, but when I read that with my sponsor, I felt that to my core. That's it. That's how I felt at the end. Godless, hopeless, answerless, idealist, like friendless, loveless, right? And every relationship that I had, I absolutely destroyed because I thought, why don't you guys just leave me the F alone, bro? Why don't you just leave me the F alone so that I can continue to drink the way I want to drink? Because when I drink the way I want to drink, I feel better, right? Well, when I was successful at absolutely ruining every relationship that I had, right? And mind you, right? By now I have like 5 kids, 3 different babies' mamas, right? And I got lucky, man. I have to mention that these women, my picker's broken, but I'll tell you what, the women that I picked to have kids with, I couldn't have done better. Those women have done exceptional jobs raising my kids all by themselves. And I can't take any credit for any successes that my kids have. They get all the credit. And I don't know how I did that, man, but somehow, right? Anyway, every relationship that I had been in had ended tragic. People got hurt, people cried, hearts were broken, windows were broken, Holes were punched in the wall. Things were thrown around the house. That's what I kind of look like in romance, right? Right? Because I'm completely immature and like emotionally stunted. Like I want her to fix me, right? I want her to fix me, and when she doesn't, I hold her responsible, right? And so when they fail at like fixing me, of course, I need another drink. I need another drink. And another woman, because maybe she'll be next, or maybe she'll be the right one, right? When it comes to work, I hate saying this in front of Roxy. Keep it real, right? Keep it real. Tell the truth. I suck as an employee. I suck as an employee without God in AA, right? But when I have God in AA,
that's right.
I'm kind of a bad mother effer, right? Right? And I get no credit for that. God in AA does. God in AA does that. They create that out of me, right? Anyway, so let's just pray I stay close to AA, Roxy. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anyway, so in the end, right? I'll fast forward. So my sponsor says if you're gonna share, if you're gonna speak at a meeting, get sober quick, right? Nobody wants to hear all the drunk along. Who cares? We all did the same stuff, right? Right. So in the end, I'm overdosing. I'm in a tent in North Hollywood. I'm being brought back to. I'm waist out of my tent. I have no shirt on. It's pouring rain. I'm laying in the mud. I have vomit and mud all over me, right? And I can't stop getting loaded. And when I come back to, did I sober up? No. Oh, I got loaded again, right? Because I absolutely can't stop, right? Okay, so I come to Alcoholics Anonymous. I come to rehab, right? I come to rehab, and I find out here in the doctor's opinion what's wrong with me. They describe this thing as a threefold disease, right? And they call it alcoholism, right? So the first part of it, right, is the mental obsession, where I have this thing up here that continues to tell me that somehow, some way, someday I can control and enjoy my drinking. Control it and enjoy it. I wish I could, right? That sounds, I wish I could, right? And I've tried so many times, right? The second part, this is what really caught my attention, okay? The physical allergy. They're saying that I'm allergic to alcohol, that I have an allergic reaction, and the reaction is called this phenomenon of craving. And this is what sets me apart from the normal average drinkers, right? I remember going to the dope house and like seeing the dealers, or going to the bar and seeing my pals at the bar drinking, right? They got the truck outside and the hot chick at home. They got the dog, right? They got the kids. They're like, daddy, 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 right? They're posting their stuff on Facebook, right? About what they did this holiday. And they're drinking at the bar. And why couldn't I never do that, right? I may go to the bar a couple times, but I blow my whole check and then I end up in the tent in North Hollywood. Why do I respond like that? Because I have this thing in me that sets it off. And once I take a drink, my body prescribes me like a doctor prescribes a medicine. Oh, you have an infection. I'm going to give you antibiotics. My body says, oh, we took a drink. You need another drink. My body demands, bro. Demands that I take another drink. That's what sets me apart. And the only thing that can fix it is an entire psychic change or a spiritual experience. And that I can only get. How much time do I have, Sean?
60 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That I can only get by working the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? There's a part in the book that talks about some guys can quit drinking. They can. If the bosses say, I'm going to fire you, If you keep coming to work loaded, this guy might be able to say, all right, you know what? That's it, I'm done. Some guys may go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, you're dying, pal. And that guy might be able to say, you know what? I've had it, I'm done, right? Not me. My body demands that I take another drink. And only an act of, the literature says, only an act of providence can save me. That's God, right? If you're sitting in here and if you have a problem with God, man, I effing get it, man. I get it, man. I remember coming to Alcoholics Anonymous and hating God, hating the idea. Don't even effing mention church, bro, right? I remember being loaded out there and being like, F you, God, right? Because I felt like he had left me. What I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous is that my God never stopped caring about me. I stopped letting him. So, first step, second step, right? So I come here and my sponsor starts, he teaches me this thing, it's called a set-aside prayer. And what the set-aside prayer sounds like is, God, help me to set aside everything I think I know about Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12 steps, and you, God, so that I could have an open mind and a new experience with the 12 steps, Alcoholics Anonymous, and you, God. Not saying that the God that I had as a kid sucked, but just inviting me and inviting the idea, making space for the idea of maybe I can have a new experience with this God, right? My third step looked like me and my sponsor getting on our knees and saying the third step prayer. The third step prayer sounds like, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory of the power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always, right? May I do thy will always. May I do thy will always, right? Fourth step. Everybody is kind of like, oh, the fourth step. Right? Oh, what's going to happen? I don't know if I'm going to make it. Right? The fourth step is this, Jack. Look, man. Everybody you think is dumb, everybody you think is stupid, everybody who you think owes you an amends, you're going to put on that fourth step. All the stupid people, put them on the first column. That's the first part of the inventory, right? There's 3 inventories in the fourth step. The resentments, that's where all the stupid people go, right? The fear inventory, it's me writing down what fears I have and why I have them. And then there's like a little process where I offer these fears to my God, right? To the God of my understanding, right? And then page 69. The sex inventory. Yeah? Who wants to do the sex inventory? Yeah, exactly, bro. But here's the thing, right? I'm in the room with my boss, right? So I got to keep it real in a general way. And here's the thing, right? When I am without God and when I am without Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm extremely broken and sick. And evil, right? I've done incredible, tragic things while I was loaded. I'm not just talking about sex, I'm just talking about across the board, right? But I had to write things on my sex inventory that I wasn't going to tell nobody. I did stuff while I was loaded that I never thought that I would do. Never thought I was going to do. I wrote stuff down that I was going to go to the grave with, bro. Right? And my sponsor says, if you want to stay sober, you're going to write it. If you don't. Right? So I wrote it. And once I saw my hand writing it, I had this strange feeling that when I saw my hand writing, I thought, I think there's going to be a chance. I think I got a chance. And after I wrote it, the fear of telling my sponsor, by then I was just like, F it. I'm going to tell him. So what? Right? The 5th step, I read it to him. I told him all that stuff, right? We worked through it. 6 and 7. So 6 is, we became entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, right? And so after I read my 5th step, I was like, hey, so do we have a list of all my character defects? And he's like, bro, you got all of them. And then we read the 7-step prayer. And what the 7-step prayer sounds like, my Creator, I'm now willing that you should have all of me, good and the bad. Good and the bad. Every single defect of character, thank you, which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. So that's a 7-step prayer, right? 8th step. 8th step is made a list of people we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. I got an effed up list, man. People died because of the way that I use. I've ruined lives, caused great trauma in people's lives because of how I conduct myself without God and without AA. That's why my sponsor was like, you're a broken and evil man, Danny G, without God and AA. But then he said, just like me. And then I felt human. You mean I'm not the only one? Right? I started on my amends here. I started on my amends almost as soon as I got out of primary, right? As soon as I started working, did I buy a car as soon as I started working? No. That ain't my money. That's not my money. I owe money. It's not fair for me to be cruising down the street, spending all these people's money, spending my kids' money, my ex's money, all these people's money that I owe, right? And so I went on a mission to start paying these people back that I owe, and they're like, wait, what? This next thing that I'm going to share, how long do I have, Sean? And where are you? 8 minutes? Okay. No, my vision sucks, man. 8 minutes, that's perfect. What I'm going to share next, I don't recommend to anybody, right? Me and my sponsor did things a certain way, and this is just my experience. I had a guy here locally that I burned who was a heavy hitter, right? When I'm loaded, I burn people, right? Period, right? Now, this dude's local, and I'm from here and stuff, and I remember almost every morning coming out of RBH, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if these cats are going to gun me down immediately in front of the house. Like, I was afraid to post pictures at Fred Brown on my Facebook because I'm like, they know where Fred Brown is. They're going to effing find me. You know what I'm saying? And so I was afraid, man. I was afraid. And so as soon as I had dude's money, man, I tracked him down and I went back to the dope house. This was my mistake. I went to the dope house by myself. And you remember that? Yeah. And there was a little bit of ego involved there too. I found out later that my sponsor was like, that was stupid of you to do by yourself, you know? Right. And but I walked up into the dope house and I said, hey man, I have your money. And I cleaned that beef with that dude, you know? And the reason I share that is because I think that part of me was willing to take the ass whooping if I had one coming, you know? And there's a part in the literature that says that we're hard on ourselves and easy on others, right? And that we don't not make amends to somebody because we're just like, because we're afraid to, you know? Anyway, so I paid back a lot of money. The 10th step looks like this. The 10th step is on page 84. There's a little paragraph, and it says, the 10th step says, our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness, right? And then it says, continue to watch for anger, fear, resentment, and dishonesty, right? And then it says, and when these things crop up, we discuss it with somebody immediately. We make amends if we have to. We ask God to free us of it, and then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone that we can help. Because when I'm stuck in my resentment, all I'm thinking about is me, right? And that stupid person, right? And then me, right? So what the 10th step enables me to do is get out, in and out of a resentment. The big book says that the grouch and the brainstorm are not for us, that these things may be the dubious luxury of normal men, but for me, it's absolute poison, and it has the power to actually kill. Dubious luxury of normal men, right? That means that a normal guy can get angry and not go home and beat his old lady. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, I take that back. A normal guy can be angry and not go home and act a fool, right? I get filled with resentment and I act a fool, and eventually I get loaded. So that's what he meant by the dubious luxury of normal men. So the 10th step is like a mini 4-step for the day, in the moment, right now, right? The 11th step is beautiful. If y'all can make it, right? If y'all are willing to do the work. The 11th step says that I sought through prayer and meditation. And meditation. Not just prayer. Oh, God, please bring baby back. Oh, God. Please. I'm going to stop right there. Please, God, right? Prayer and meditation. And so what my meditation looks like is I get to be quiet for a period of time, and I get to listen for God. And what that practice does, the 12 and 12 says this. The 12 and 12 says, prayer's good and meditation's great, but when these things are logically interwoven, it makes for an unshakable foundation. Say unshakable foundation. Oh man, I want that. I always got rattled by stuff. If she didn't look at me right, if those cats looked at me crazy, if that effing letter didn't come in the mail slot, I always got rattled. F it, I'm gonna ruin my life. F it all. What are you gonna do, Danny? I don't know, but I'm out of here. Right? Help me, I need help. And then if like a few days later, give me my phone and my property. I'm out of here. I get so sad when how much time do I got left, Sean?
10 more.
Okay. I get so sad when I see guys walking down the block with blue bags. Oh, we know. Pedro knows. They lost another one. That ain't the Beacon House. They don't use blue bags. That's it. Fred Brown. He must have met really effed up. Where you going, Jack? I don't know. F these people. I'm going to the homeless shelter. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyway, so unshakable foundation, right? The practice of me making time for God, I find that throughout the day, when stuff happens, I don't have to, right? I don't have to respond like that. Do y'all feel that resentment when that dude says something or this doesn't happen, and you feel it? You know what I'm talking about? That's it. That's my indicator. God, I need you. Oh, God, I need you. I got chills right now, Holmes. God, I need you, right? And so with the practice of meditation and prayer, right, every day, I meditate every day for like 15, 20 minutes at least. And so what happens is that when this stuff happens, my nervous system, say nervous system. That's this right here. This says, hold on. Let me call God. Hey, God, come on in. God comes in, and I get to I had to respond like an adult. Oh man, God help me. I get to respond like an adult. And then the 12th step is making myself available to help guys that are broken just like I was. Just like I was, right? And I'm not one of the guys that says, oh, I'm just a broken alcoholic. Oh, I'm just a piece of crap, right? I don't do that. Because the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, if worked properly, I shouldn't be broken still. I should be a whole human now. I should be able to face life successfully. I should be able to be rejected and turned down and confronted and handle it like an adult. I had this thing happen a couple days ago. Well, like a week ago. My boss, right? Not you, Roxy, but one of my bosses, right? Something had to be done. Something had to be done. And the boss was like, no, don't send him, send him. Right? That's it. You stay here. And I was like, okay. But what I heard was, no, Danny sucks. He's incompetent. I need to send somebody that I can count on. Right? And what prayer and meditation does for me, it enables me to go, wait, whose validation are you seeking, Danny? Are you still seeking their validation? Or are you seeking your God's validation still? Are you still doing the right thing just to do the right thing, Danny? Or are you still seeking that outside stuff? And no wonder I was always broken. Because the big book says that no human power could have relieved my alcoholism. It had to be God, right? And so that brought me back to where I didn't have to pout the rest of the day. My boss thinks I'm stupid. He probably does think I'm stupid, but that's okay. Right.
But he didn't say that.
But he didn't say that. Right? I make that up right here in my head sometimes, man. You know? So these 12 steps, right? These 12 steps, man. Right? If you take anything home with you from this, right? I don't know how. I don't know what step it was or what day it was or what prayer or whatever it was. But Alcoholics Anonymous and God have made a man of me out of a boy like me. And I don't know how that happens. But I know that it's available to anybody who's willing to do the work. Who's willing to do the work. You know, and all I wanted when I got here, bro, oh man, all I wanted was some clean socks, man. I'm serious. I just wanted enough to get my feet out of my work boots. All I wanted was like my social security card, dog. Oh man. And Alyssa, can you get me my effing food stamps? Right? One day at a time, man. One thing at a time, man. One prayer at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time. And this thing works if you work it. And I'll share this last part. The letters in the garages, guy, or the letters in primary, this is not Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm just going to share it because I have everybody's attention right now. I thought that the letters were garbage and trash and stupid. I thought. But when I wrote them honestly, and when I read them to my peers and got the feedback, it healed something in here that I didn't know was broken. Yeah, and so I hope that I shared something tonight that was helpful, and I hope, man, I hope all of y'all get to experience the magic that I have experienced in Fred Brown and in Alcoholics Anonymous, and thank you for letting me share. Yeah.